Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good whatever time of day it may be for you. I am the Laid Back Gamer, and we're back with another part review of the Houses of Morrowind set. We are covering the endurance cards this time, so let's get started. First off, I don't have much to say about this. I do not believe it's playable. Just because there's 0-1 Vardvarks. Now, I think they're actually kind of adorable creatures, but I don't think it's playable. Even with Betray, it's not playable. Next we have Ald the Assassin, 2 mana, 1/2, lethal and rally. I think this is a bit. I think it's a good card, but I also think it's a sleeper card. It has a lot of potential to do even better. I think it'll be even better if we get another expansion that, I don't know. I think it has potential. You could play this late game against other big creatures because, well, it has lethal. The fact that it has lethal means it's late game viable. The rally adds early game value. It's a great card in all. Sorry about that. I had to quick go run and take care of something. I think somebody knocked on the door. My dog was a little agitated, but anyways, let's move on to Almalexia's Disciple. 2 mana Dark Elf, 2/3, Exalt 2, heal all friendly creatures. When has this effect ever been good? I mean, minus Healing Hands. When has this ever been good? Cassius Machinations, 2 mana action, Betray, give the top 3 creatures of your deck +1/+1. I actually saw a guy the other day running in this card, and he managed to get all 3 copies. Unfortunately, he was also playing against the Tester Temple Tribunal, which happened to have drawn a lot of hard removal very early on, and so I kind of nuked all of his minions that got buffed, and he was left without a hand. Granted, he still was able to deal some damage to me, but in the end, I did come out on top. I think if you're that guy and you got lucky enough to have all 3 of these in your hand and you have the Betray targets, yeah, this suddenly becomes really good. Otherwise, if you just say have 1, you kind of need that Betray target in order to make, like, if you can give your creatures +2/+2, now you're talking. This is a good card. But if you can't, not really. +1/+1 sometimes doesn't make a difference. +2/+2, most cases does. So you need that Betray target to make this work. Next we have Quarar Clan Bloodkin, 2 mana vampire, 1/5 drain. And in my notes I have, that's an awful lot of health, yet a very poor amount of attack. You have to buff this. This has to get buffed in order to make it work. You just have to put items on it. It has a lot of survivability, which is great, but you need to put weapons on this vampire in order to make her work. Next we have Trespasser's Bane, 2 mana action. Set a creature's power to 1. So it's the power version of weakness. And ultimately, I think this is the better of the 3 effects that does this. Trespasser's Bane affects power, weakness affects health, and Lay to Arms affects both. And actually, if you combine weakness and Trespasser's Bane, you essentially get a lay down arms. So I think it's the strongest one because it only costs 2, and you're doing effectively what you want to do. Sometimes you may want to remove a creature, which weakness works out. Sometimes you want to just hamstring a creature for later because you don't quite have the removal there, and that's where lay down arms comes in. But this has more applicable situations because this prevents your opponent from being able to gun you down with a powerful creature. Say your opponent plays a Storm Atronach. You play Trespasser's Bane on that. You have some magicka left in order to play another card, and he's down to no attack. One attack. Weakness. You still have a ward to worry about, which doesn't really do too much unless you have a curse in hand. And he still has the massive amount of attack to deal with. Trespasser's Bane, while yes, accomplishes both of them, also uses up more magicka. So unless you don't have a card or to play that turn, I would recommend using that over Trespasser's Bane. But Trespasser's Bane, the point is, it does more for it can do a lot more for less, and it does more than Weakness can do, and does it less than what Lay at Arms can do. So out of the three, I think this is the strongest version of them. Ancestral Dead, 3-mana skeleton, 2/4, slay, summon Arisen in Dead. It's good stats for its cost, and if you get a slay effect off, you're good. You have a creature to betray. It's a decent slay card, and it's probably something you could run in slay decks. Alding, oh god, I butchered that. Clan Sorcerer, 3-mana vampire, 4/3. At the end of your turn, if 3 or more creatures died this turn, put a random blood magic spell into your hand. Now, in order to really get the point across on just how this card can be very good, as long as you have a lot of death, I'm going to go back to a certain point in the game where there was an infamous card that whenever you played it, you had zero cost card. You had a lot of zero cost cards in your deck, or just cards that cost up to 5 less. They had +5/+5. They were incredibly powerful. Who am I talking about? Obviously, Journey to Sovngarde. Now, imagine if say, Journey to Sovngarde, this came out when Journey to Sovngarde wasn't nerfed. Guaranteed, you would run 3 copies of this, as many charged creatures as you could fit in the deck. Journey to Sovngarde and Catalisa's Conscription. If you cannot kill your opponent that turn with all the charged creatures you gain, you can kill off at least 3 of your creatures. You'd have 3 blood magic spells because you have 3 of these guys on the field, and you're set up to basically win the next turn. If you get if you get that many creatures killed, it's worth it. If you have 2 of these on the field, it is well worth it. But again, you have to get to really capitalize on this effect. On this card. You have to get this effect activated. Aside from that, decent stats for its cost. Good stats for its cost. Good stats. Next I have Daedric Crescent. 3-mana item, +2/+2, slay +1/+1, works well in slay decks, but the other thing that I want to point out is it works well if you excuse me, if the creature that's attacking has Umbra on it. Why? Well, that creature will it battles an enemy creature, so it doesn't use up its attack, and if it kills him and lives, Daedric Crescent will give the wielder of Umbra +1/+1. So it gives a little bit back. I have an arena game where I demonstrated this very well. I had a card that just kept racking up kills, kept getting stronger and stronger every time. It's the first solo arena run of the Houses of Morrowind expansion. Go check it out if you want to see that combo in action. On its own, I think it works a lot better if you have, say, not Night Mother. Well, actually, Night Mother is a good target for anything with Daedric Crescent, but it works well if you have Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary out, because obviously you're getting +2/+2 back instead of just +1/+1. Sorry, guys. I think I'm choking on something. My throat's a little dry. But I think that, yeah, I like this. Also nice Mythic Dawn tabard in the back. At least I believe that's Mythic Dawn tabard. It's a good item. It's a good item. Indoril Mastermind, 3 mana Dark Elf, 2/1. Nice effect. Looks pretty cool. Summon, look at the top 2 cards of your deck, draw 1, discard the other. Very powerful draw power. You can that way, as if you have a card that you really want and a card that you don't care for anymore, such as, for instance, if, say, this was a mage card, which I think this could very easily have been a mage card, and you put and I was playing with my mage deck, sometimes I didn't want to draw my Solitude Stalwart, and I wanted to draw the Odahviing that came a turn later, and because of it lost me the game. Well, with this card, I can now pick which one I want, put the one I don't want in the graveyard, or the discard pile, and if, say, since it's an endurance card, if I have cards that'll bring others back, I can bring that one back if it's something that I wanted in the first. If I wanted both of them, I can just bring it back with the Solitaire, or Volkreath Defiler, or Journey to Sovngarde. All of them. Yeah. Anything that brings a card back from the grave, essentially. Very powerful draw card. I think this is going to be one of the better ones of this expansion. Knight of Guinness. Nesis, my bad. Knight of Nasus, 3 mana Dark Elf, 2/3 Rally Summon, put a 2/2 Colovian Trooper with Guard in your hand. So this is a card that we saw at the beginning. Because it puts the Colovian Trooper in your hand, I think it's a pretty good card. You get the Rally effect off. It puts the card in your hand so that you always have you'll have a creature to rally, even if you're not playing with Bolvian Varen. The triple class legendary for House Redoran. So it's good because it'll add that, and it has an extra guard. Not a bad card at all. Next I have Bone Walker, 4 mana skeleton, 1/2 Prophecy Guard, summon +1/+1 for each enemy creature in this lane. I think this is a good aggro counter with the guard. And the fact that you'll gain extra attack for each enemy creature in a lane. Oftentimes, enemies will your opponent will try to flood one lane or the other. And if you have Bone Walkers in your deck, drawing this, playing it, it will give you a strong creature. So I think this will help keep aggro decks in check. There's actually quite a few tools in this expansion to help keep aggro in check. So I want to see this played against aggro, see how viable it is. I think it'll be good against aggro, but I need to see it in order to believe that it's going to be good. Okay, Bone Walker, you've had your time to shine. Next we have Casus Cosadas. I think I said that right. 4 mana Imperial, 3/4. Summon, look at the 2 of your opponent's cards. Guess the one in their hand. If you're right, give all creatures in your hand +1/+1. It's very, very similar mechanic to Thief of Dreams, except Thief of Dreams will put the card that you guessed right in your. If you guessed right, it'll put it in your hand. Oh, hold on a second. Phone call. Sorry about that. So, where was I with this? Same effect with Thief of Dreams. You need creatures in your hand in order to make this work. If you're in top deck mode, this doesn't work. But if you have a lot of creatures in your hand, maybe. Just maybe. As long as you get it right. Because sometimes you might not be able to. Mournhold Pilgrim. 4 mana Dark Elf, 4/4, regen, Exalt 3, +2/+2. It's a fairly good Exalt card. It's good mid and midish late game. Although the regen effect, not really that powerful. I haven't... Regen often doesn't work out as well as one may think. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But still, being a 7 mana 6/6 it's okay. Or 4 mana 4/4. Both of them are fine. Not a bad card. Redoran Oathman. Talk about that later. Rising of Bones. 4 mana action, Betray, summon a 3/3 Risen Horror with Guard. And I love the animation. It's really cool. When I opened it from a pack, I actually opened 2 of them. Well, one and from 2 different packs. But when I opened this, I thought, man, this is a sick animation. I love it. It's a powerful guard action that can generate you cards. It's kind of there. It's about same level as Clovian, as the oh, what's that card? I think Midnight Watch or Midnight Sweep that summons a 2/2 in each lane. Except you could choose which lane get if one lane gets 2 creatures, both of them. If you do 1 and 1 or 2 and 0, 0 and 2. And they're 3/3s, so they have a little extra survivability. You have to betray a creature, but as stated before, with betray cards, you can oftentimes you can get it to work. I think it's a powerful card in general. Moving on, we have the Grim Champion, 4 mana skeleton, 4/4 guard summon. Give your other friendly skeletons +1/+1. This has got me thinking. If I can ever get... Oh. Well, hold on a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, I had no idea what happened there. I just randomly disconnected. But this card has me thinking. It's... If you have a board full of skeletons... Or... Yeah, well, skeletons. It's a... I find it to be a... cheaper and longer lasting Bonewalker Colossus, or Colossus Bonewalker. I don't remember. I don't remember what it was, and I don't really want to go check it out because I am on a bit of a time limit here. But it gives the effect, but unlike that, it's a permanent effect. The Colossus has to stay alive in order for your other skeletons to have the benefit. This just has to stay long enough to give the summon effect off, which is like almost no time. So I think this might be a very powerful card in a undead theme, in a skeleton undead themed, maybe Telvanni deck. We'll see. I want to try it out though. Then we have Bal Isra War Rider, 5 mana red guard, 3/6 rally. It's a solid mid-game rally card. Big step, big body, not so great on attack, but it's not bad. If it was 2 attack, I don't think it would be playable, but since it's at 3, it's at that nice sweet spot. If it were at 4, I think it'd be 2. It's well balanced, it's well statted, and the rally just gives it a little extra value. Betty Netch, 5 mana Netch, 0/5. When Betty Netch is played, while Betty Netch is in play, your maximum magic is increased by 2. No. I like the effect, and I like the animation. This was the first golden card that I got of this expansion, but I don't think it's that playable. Unless you're using the Ring of Imaginary Might, I don't think it's that playable. Indomitable Ordinator, 5 mana Dark Elf, 5/5, guard, exalt 1. Your opponent can't target Indomitable Ordinator with actions. Very powerful effect. If you have Almalexia out, it'll never die. Like, you'd have to find a way to kill Almalexia, and even then, it'll only die to creatures that have exalt. It's a very powerful card. I like the effect, but would I want to run? It requires a lot of setup to make this basically immortal to everything. So would I run this? I would only run if I had Almalexia, personally. Other than that, it's good. Ordinary. Oh boy. Ordinarian Necromancer. Oh, I butchered that. 6 mana Dark Elf, 3/3. Summon a creature from your discard pile with less power than the Necromancer. If you rally if you make this card bigger, you can summon more and more stuff. Although sometimes you want to summon a weak card. What weak card you want to summon? I'm not sure. Actually, oh boy, everybody refers to it as Charge or Drain Bat. Giant Bat, there we go. Giant Bat. You can summon this, get a little extra effect from it, or clear your opponent's creature. I think this is going to be another addition to the Giant Bat Scout deck. Next up we have Almalexia. 7 mana God, 6/6, Exalt 3, +6/+6, and friendly Exalt creatures are immune to damage. If you have Exalt creatures out, this is very powerful. It doesn't give Exalt to itself. However, this paints perhaps one of the biggest targets on her, as if you're playing against a Tribunal deck and you're getting to about that turn 12 point and you see that your opponent's playing a couple of Exalt creatures, you're going to immediately go, all right, I'm going to hold onto removal. That way when Almalexia comes out, I Javelin her, or I cast at a time, or I just do anything to get rid of Almalexia. Huge target, but huge reward. Next up, we have Bloodline Outcast. 7 mana vampire, 7/7. When a creature dies, Bloodline Outcast gains drain this turn. I think this is a pretty decent arena card, but would I run it in normal, in constructed? Probably not. I'd have to give it a try in order to determine if I would want to run it. But I would probably not. Lich's Ascension, 7 mana support, ongoing. Your cards cost 0. You may only play 1 card per turn. So basically, you're in top deck mode all the time. And you better not have a handful of cards, because otherwise you're a little SOL. So that's all I have to say about that one. Not very good, I don't think. Lastly, we have Mushroom Tower, 9 mana support, ongoing. Your actions have Betray. This could be insanely powerful, depending on what you have. If, say, it's not good if you don't want to use, you have a choice to use Betray on everything. So this just allows you to cast Betray on your actions. With the right actions, it could make for a very overpowered card. But the high cost kind of balances this out. You're not going to be seeing people, you're not going to be seeing a action-heavy deck suddenly crank this, suddenly play Mushroom Tower. You can't see them play Mushroom Tower early on and then really take it, abuse it late game. No. This is, you got to play this late game, and if you have anything left, then you're good. So I think this is good for action decks. And like I said, with Blood, it works, well, it doesn't work well with Blood Sacrament because it already has Betray, but you get what I mean. Now for my top 3 cards of this, I'm going to have the honorable mention go first here. Aldveloth the Assassin, again, I think it's a sleeper card. Well, a bit of a sleeper card. I think it's going to be powerful, very useful. The lethal is really good. But I'm not really sure what else to say. So, yeah. Number 3, I said, was going to be Rising of Bones, which is right here. Rising of Bones, you get, if you betray, you get 3/3 Risen Horrors, and a 3/3 is better than a 2/2. In a lot of stretches, that extra attack and health can mean the difference between it killing a creature or not, or surviving a blow or not. And yeah, I don't have too much to say about that. Number 2, I said, was Almalexia. The ability to make all of your creatures immune to damage, all of your exalted creatures at least, is huge. The key word is exalted. You have to exalt. You also have to, I think you have to exalt Almalexia as well in order to get the effect. And you all have to exalt every other creature. So say you have all 3 of the other gods out, or not all 3 of the other 2 gods out, and then play Almalexia. Now your Vivek won't be able to cannot die, and that means you won't be able to lose the game until Almalexia and Vivek are dead. And if you have Sothasil protecting it, in both of them with his Awakened Imperfects, that's another guy that you have to go through. So all 3 of them together, really, really powerful combo. You just have to last long enough in order to get them out. And number 1, I said Eldoran Mastermind. I don't really have any more to say. I'm a little drained at this point. So, yeah, just basically, you have the ability to cycle a bit. And you choose the card you want based on the situation that you're presented with. Which, very good. Now, granted, sometimes you might not get the ideal card, but yeah, that happens all the time. This just gives you a greater chance of getting the more ideal card. And unlike Merchant's Camel, you're not discarding another card. Unless you're running a specific deck that wants you to discard a bunch of cards, you don't want to run Merchant's Camel. You'd prefer to run this because you take as little damage as you can, and you get a card from it as well. So that's all I got to say on this. And that's it for the endurance section of the Houses of Morrowind set. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you really enjoyed. Don't forget to share this video or any of my other videos to anybody who you think will enjoy my content. Next time I will be covering the triple class and the neutral. That is going to be happening tomorrow. Tomorrow should be Thursday if I'm not mistaken. So that is when this will be coming out. Thank you guys, and until next time, take it easy.